anything you can do, I can do better. I can do anything better than you.
No, you can't.
Yes, I can.
No, you can't.
Yes, I can.
No, you can't.
Yes, I can. Yes, I can.
Every day, we see more and more women stepping up and showing that they're 100% capable of doing things that have been dominated by men for decades. This is Brittany Dickson, female racer for the Washington Motorcycle Road Racing Association, author, mother, and all-around badass. My name is Dane Anar, and this is her story.
I'm Brittany Dickson, and I race with Washington Motorcycle Road Racing Association.
Do you race with anybody else?
WMRRA a little bit,
Yeah?
not very often.
I'm assuming that's
hoping-
Oregon Motorcycle
Yes,
Road Racing
yes.
Association? Okay. Who else do you race
I'm
with?
hoping to make a few AFM rounds also.
What's
this year.
AFM?
American Federation of Motorcyclists.
I did not know that, actually. Alright, so where do they normally race at?
They are in Northern California, central to Northern California. Fast,
And then I'm
fast
assuming,
guys down there.
I'm assuming that Washington races in Washington.
Yes.
What are the two racetracks that they race at?
Pacific Raceways
Uh-huh.
and the Ridge Motorsports Park.
Motorsports Park. Which one do you like better?
I like Pacific.
Yeah? Why?
It's awesome. It's technical. There's not a lot of place to rest. It's a workout. It's just fun.
Even though the Ridge has
Similar-
more turns, more elevation, you think that Pacific's a little bit more?
I still like Pacific. It's one of my favorite tracks. It's
I-
similar to Steers Point.
So, how long have you been racing? When did you buy your very first motorcycle?
So I started riding motorcycles in 2005,
Mm-hmm.
and I inherited my husband's.
That sounds exciting. So then what got you into racing? What made you decide that you wanted to race motorcycles?
You know, I remember like walking through the paddock and seeing all the race bikes up on their stands,
yeah.
and they just looked so, I don't know, there was just something about it, and the tire warmers and the smells, and
Yeah?
yeah, it just caught me.
So when was your very first race then? What was your very first motorcycle race?
July of 2009.
And what was your first thought going into that day? Do you remember?
I don't even remember. I remember being so nervous, but yeah, it was just like there's no feeling on the planet like it. It's amazing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I bet. So what was it like being one of the few women on the grid, especially as a novice, in Novice 1000? Did they have a novice one? Like a separate novice class for the bigger bikes back then?
Yeah, they had the 600 and the 1000.
Okay. So what was it like being probably one of the only women on the grid when it came to riding a 1000 in comparison to everybody else?
Yeah, everyone is so they made such a big deal about racing a 1000, and I didn't understand it, like what the big deal was until you start going fast.
Alright. So why did you start racing with WMRRA versus?
I like the tracks.
Yeah.
I like the tracks. I like different. There's you know, it's not a one track wonder club.
Yeah.
So it's the guys
more
are,
competition.
There's way more competition.
Yeah.
The guys are faster. It's a great club.
Okay. So have you always been racing from 2009, or did you take a break in between any of those years?
Oh no, I had a really big get off in 2013
wow.
at a track day. So
Okay, well, obviously you're still alive, which is a good
yeah,
thing.
yeah.
So it's 2019 race season. What are you racing this year?
I have a 2016 Kawasaki ZX-10r.
Okay, this one right here.
This one,
right?
yeah.
What's done to it? Do you remember what's done to it?
It's got some fun parts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Some go
Penske,
fast parts.
It's got some go fast parts. It's pretty good. It makes good power.
Yeah.
The Penske shock is probably one of my favorite things. GP, fork cartridges.
Super
It's
Sport build,
good.
if I recall.
Yes.
Yoshi exhaust.
Yes.
And then it's why'd you choose a 2016 Kawasaki ZX-10R versus Yamaha or Suzuki or any other bike out
I
there?
like the ergonomics of the Cowies. I really like their electronics package.
Yeah.
I think it's a little bit better
Okay.
than what Yamaha offers.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Right on. So then why'd you choose a 1000 versus like any other size out there?
Because I want to go
You
fast.
just want to go fast. That's awesome. What classes do you race with WMRRA?
I race Formula Ultra, Open Superbike, Open Super Sport, and Formula Female.
So what is it like being one of the few women racing against men in a predominantly driven man sport? What's it like to be a woman against all these other guys?
I don't think there's really much difference as far as that. We have a little bit harder time being as physical as men do, but we have, I think, more opportunities for help and support and sponsorship, and women are pretty marketable.
Yeah.
But
do you want more women on the grid?
Yeah, absolutely. I think that, gosh, I don't know. I don't know what the hang-up is for a lot of women. I think it's scared. I don't know.
Totally. So for a woman that's watching this right now, that, she owns a motorcycle, she wants to get into racing, but she's scared to do so, outside of just saying, just do it, what would you say would be a good piece of advice for them to get them
I think track days. Get your feet wet and come do some track days and kind of, feel it out that way.
Yeah.
And realize how fun it is and how fulfilling it is.
Yeah. Is there a track day organization that you'd recommend over anybody?
Absolutely. Too fast track days.
What piece of advice would you give to your novice self, knowing what you know now versus what you didn't know back then?
I don't know. I think that I would probably just try to not be so in my head about things and mental. It's so mental, all of it. And you just... There's always somebody faster at every level, always. And you can get kind of hung up on that and trying to, meet your goals and put too much pressure on yourself.
Sure. Do you have any big goals for 2019 as a female racer?
I do. I'm going to chase points all season and see how I can stack up in the club. And
so you started racing in 2009. Have you always been around racing, or did you grow up in the racing community? How did you get into racing?
Yeah, my dad raced everything, hydroplane boats and flat bottom boats, and my mom even raced cars, and dad raced motorcycles, and I've always, my uncles race. I've kind of just grown up around that.
Yeah.
So it was
a
natural fit.
How does your family feel about you racing?
They're supportive. My mom kind of, she worries about my safety.
Just like
obviously,
any mom would, I'm assuming.
Yeah. But they're pretty supportive. They know how passionate I am about it.
So tell me a little bit more about Formula Female. Obviously, outside of being a girl, or a woman, pardon me, outside of being a woman, is there anything that they need to do? Is there a certain bike that they need to ride? Is there a certain skill level?
600s and bigger, 750,000. Skill level, there's novices. Some of the girls are novices. I think it's a good class to get, your feet wet and it's fun because the women, they race together and we are fierce out there, and then we get off the track and everybody's laughing and hugging each other, and
you guys are a pretty close-knit group of women too.
We're super close.
Yeah, that's awesome.
It's a good group.
No, that's exciting. So how many women race in Formula Female right now, do you know?
I think 8 of us.
Oh wow.
8 of us.
And how many would you like to see in Formula Female?
20, 30.
So we've talked about your racing starting back in 2009. You took a little bit of a break between 13 to 15, came back in 2015. What do you think has changed in the last 10 years, starting in 2009 and going into your 2019 season?
I think the biggest change is the bikes now. The bikes that they make, they make so much power. They're just amazing. The electronics packages available are amazing, and it's really changed the whole scene.
So what about, you mentioned the electronics package, what about the electronics on your ZX-10R? What benefit does it add versus not having it in the past?
Well, it's just, it helps you put all that power to the ground, and there's a lot of safety features, traction control.
Well, that's probably a good thing.
Yeah.
Probably wheelie control too, to make sure you keep all wheels on the ground.
Launch control.
That's fun.
Yeah, so it's just the bikes are so much more rideable
Yeah.
and usable.
Okay. All right. So what would you say if there's one thing you could change, or even multiple things you could change at club level racing, especially from your perspective as a female racer? What would it be?
I would like to see more people on the grid,
Yeah.
and more publicity for sponsors, and airing. If we could get the races aired on TV.
Yeah.
They don't even.
Be a lot of work.
They don't even do. Yeah. Right.
That'd be a lot of work. It's something we've looked into. I will say that. So then you mentioned sponsors and getting more publicity for sponsors. Are you sponsored?
I am.
Who are Who are all of your sponsors?
There's a list. I usually have a list with me.
Yeah.
There's been a lot of people that have really, really helped me. Mortgage Lending Group, Dane Anar. You.
It's my company, guys. Well, not my company. I work for them.
You've helped me so much. And
Who else? Who else do you have as sponsors?
Two fast track days instruction. Mark DeGrasse has been my riding coach and mentor for years, ever since I started, and he's helped me. He's one of the best coaches that I can think of.
What's the biggest piece of advice that he's given you that you think that's helped you in your riding?
All kinds of things over the years. Yeah, just body position and form, and getting your eyes up where they need to be, and confidence. I think that you've got to have confidence for this sport.
Oh, absolutely.
And I think that's the biggest hurdle for anyone, and just trusting your tires. The tires they make now are amazing. I love my Pirelli tires.
Are you sponsored by them?
I am.
All right.
I am. They're
Shout out to Pirelli.
fantastic.
Who's your Pirelli guy?
It was Moto G Racing
Okay.
last year.
Nice.
CT Racing Northwest. Awesome guys.
So, and they're the ones that are providing you with your Pirelli tires.
They do.
Would you race with any other tire?
I would not. I would not.
Other sponsors. Who else is sponsoring you this year?
M-Tech Motorcycles. They're doing the engine work for me. Awesome guys with crazy resumes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who else is on your belly pen? I saw that you had a bunch of stickers on your belly pen. Is there anybody else that's sponsoring you this year? GoPro?
Yes.
GoPro sponsorship?
Motul and Ojo and GoPro and Swami Helmets, Janman Leathers, Serious R&D.
Yeah. So now, you mentioned leathers being, obviously you have to wear them to protect yourself. For a woman, I'm sure you can't just go pick up a set off the rack. Like, do you have to buy a custom suit, or can you go to the store and just buy a suit off?
You can. Depends on how custom you are, and if you can fit something off the rack.
Are you able to buy something off the rack, or do you have to get custom made?
I'm not able to. Yeah, I'm an odd shape. So Janman has been fantastic. Fantastic for me.
Okay, very cool, very cool. Any last words for anybody watching this video?
I just
especially
like to
to the women,
more,
especially the women that are
females out there, and yeah, I want to encourage them to come and play, and yeah, it's really I think it's really validating and affirming, and when you can see your progress and throw your hat in the ring too.
Absolutely. So for all the women that are watching out there, what's something that you would give them as far as a piece of advice other than just doing it? Like, what would you say to them that want to get into racing or into track days or anything of that sort?
I've done a few things, adrenaline, sports, that kind of thing. There's nothing on the planet that is like racing. Nothing.
Yeah.
It's
what about
not
track
even,
days though? Like, not even racing, just what about track
even,
days?
I mean, track days are amazing too, but there's just a different feel, like in a race, and there's I can't.
The competitiveness.
Yeah. It's the most amazing feeling in the world.
Have you ever passed a guy on the track, and have they ever gotten mad because they got passed by a girl?
Yes.
Really?
Yeah.
Are you willing to tell us who it was?
I can't throw one on the bus, but it's fun.
So it's probably empowering for you as a woman to be able to
yeah.
pass somebody on the racetrack, especially probably one of those guys that think that they're super fast and they're like, oh, I can go so much faster, and then here you are, blonde locks just flying out the back of your helmet, I'm assuming.
I noticed that there's, like, on track days, guys won't really listen to me, some of them, and then I'll go and I'll make a point to kind of
Show them up.
Show them, yeah.
Show them what's up.
And then they're like, oh my gosh, you can actually ride really fast.
Yeah.
And it changes their whole demeanor and how they talk to me, and they'll actually listen to my coaching after that. But my name is Brittany Dickson, and I'm number 83 with the Washington Motorcycle Road Racing Association, and I'm looking for more sponsors, so let me know.